The American F-16 fighter jet is one of the most manufactured military aircraft to date and one of the best-selling. Dozens of air forces around the world use this jet, including Ukraine. When the F-16 entered operation in Ukraine last year, it was announced as a game changer, with all that pomp and circumstance, etc. There was a rather mysterious shootdown in the summer of 2024, in August to be precise, the causes of which are only now coming to light. Let's take a look to see what happened. Well, folks, this article is from today's Wall Street Journal, February 14th, 2025, and they state the following, that the United States' excessive caution cost the life of a Ukrainian pilot. Well, let's explain a little bit. Let's look at the notes here. The Patriots entered service in Ukraine in April 2023. But what happened? The American authorities did not yet know that they would send planes there. So they dispensed with, removed the Link 16 system link. A series of factors, I'll list them for you. And what happened? That morning, it was the morning of August 26, 2024. It seems that Ukraine was attacked by 127 missiles and 109 Russian drones. So it was a massive attack. The pilot, this Ukrainian pilot, took off to face the drones and missiles because many people think that Ukraine is using these planes for air combat. Look, that's quite difficult. Why? Let me explain to you. The performance of Russian radars and missiles operating in Ukraine, especially the famous R-37, makes it very difficult for the Ukrainian aircraft to get close to Russia's fighter aviation. So the primary function was actually to effectively defend Ukrainian skies against drones and missiles. And it seems that in this situation, a Patriot locked onto Oleksiy's plane, and he ended up being shot down. But let's learn a little about this pilot's story. It's a truly moving story. Here you see pilot Oleksiy with his girlfriend Yulia. She had been his girlfriend since school days. He was 30 years old. Here you see the pilot's wedding with his bride. He had a pretty nice life. It's a very great sadness. This is a photo of him in 2022 when he was in Washington lobbying to receive the F-16 jets. Here he is with his daughter, and here is the pilot's grave. Well, and how did we get this information? It came to light through the Twitter of a Ukrainian deputy, Mariana Bezula, and she said that according to information, the F-16 of pilot Oleksiy Moonfish is his call sign, meaning Moonfish, nickname, was shot down by a Patriot anti-aircraft missile system due to a lack of coordination between the units. Reports note that he was unable to control himself. The incident occurred during one of the most powerful Russian airstrikes on August 26th. She makes a series of criticisms of the Ukrainian Air Force Command. I want to talk a little bit about what it is. Link 16 shows the architecture of the system. This data sharing. Here is the description from one of the subsystem manufacturers, which says that Link 16 is a tactical data link developed by Viasat that provides network communications between land, sea, and air. Right? And of course, integrating the armed forces for joint operations. It is critical for NATO interoperability. Of course, such a system needs to be highly protected, and there is a lot of secrecy and limitation on its sharing, right? Regarding who can use it, authorizations, etc., because information from it cannot be leaked. But, just a heads up, I will provide a more detailed explanation. But the data link is not just what we are going to show in our video, nor just what was displayed here on the screen. Well, many people are asking, what is this Link 16 for? Let's go. It has several functions. Real-time information exchange, so pilots can share various data about targets, threats, the position of other aircraft, and other military assets as well. Enhanced situational awareness, it allows pilots to have an integrated view of the battlefield by combining sensors from multiple units. So, an aircraft, a surface ship, has a sensor, makes a reading of some situation, and sends it to this aircraft via link 16, which is a communication link not only for aeronautics, but for various, and also a secure and interference-resistant communication. Theoretically, its encryption and anti-jamming techniques would prevent interceptions by the Russians or other enemies, and coordination among allied forces in the NATO standard. It will facilitate joint operations among various countries and armed forces, in addition to integration with air defense, which was the previous problem that victimized the Ukrainian pilot. In short, Link 16 transforms a fighter jet into part of an interconnected combat system. So it's understandable, given the number of features such a system has, that the Americans were indeed concerned about it falling into Russian hands through capture, etc. Or even that someone from Ukraine might sell this system to the Russians. But let's continue our investigation. I'll leave the Wall Street Journal article about this shootdown. They make a series of considerations, detail the pilot's career, he was top of his class, all that, was trained in the United States, flew T-6 aircraft, then flew the F-15 of the United States Air Force. Supposedly impressed the American pilots, the usual story they tell. Then he returned to Ukraine, was a friend of the other pilot, Juice, who was shot down. Anyway, but in terms of concrete details, we have very little. But the Wall Street Journal article will be there for anyone who wants to look. Well, folks, we have to delve into the considerations, the core of this issue. Is it likely that the Wall Street Journal story makes sense? Yes, it makes perfect sense. The Americans are diligent and careful not to disclose, to keep under wraps, a lot of what they provide in terms of weaponry. Brazil needs to keep an eye on this when purchasing things. That's why I say it's quite complicated to depend on weaponry from other countries. But we also have to remember that since Olesk was at the top of his class, he had very good training in the United States, a star of the Ukrainian Air Force. No one will want to claim that the problem was with the Ukrainian Air Force itself. So there's this judgment, a lot of fog of war around this issue. But I remain alert. The United States, when they sell any type of equipment, never reveal all its capabilities. And in this case, if that's really what happened, this American approach with excessive caution or protection of their technology, etc., led to the death of a Ukrainian pilot. Well, but leave in your comments what you think happened, if this pilot was indeed shot down by the Patriot system, if it was an accident, or if he was shot down by Russian missiles. Leave your opinion here. It's important for us to know what you think about this incident. So that was our video for today. Anyone who wants to help our channel can use the super chat and super thanks. Also, Pix, which is what is found here in the description. Folks, I always say, we are purchasing various programs here to enhance the channel. These are really expensive programs, but you will gradually notice an increase in the channel's quality. I also need to remind you, on February 22nd, we will have our webinar about the strong men of the Middle East. I'll leave you with the link. I'll leave you with the intro now and the link for those who want to register for this webinar, which will be with Paolo Diniz from the GeoSmart News channel, plus me and Albert Cabay. If you want to register, the link is here in the description. And we'll be back shortly, always with responsibility and commitment. Even in Brazil, folks. See you later.
Fé no Brasil, pessoal. Até mais. hoje nós fizemos uma seleção especial.
And today, we have made a special selection of books for those who like aviation. These are not novels, just books that provide professional knowledge on the subject. They are books about aircraft accident investigations and real aviation stories, with a focus on Ivan Santana. For those who don't know, Ivan Santana is a Brazilian author. He wrote Black Box, Total Loss, and several other books.
Total e diversos outros livros. O importante desses livros é que com eles vocês vão aprender.
The important thing about these books is that with them, you will learn not only how the process of investigating aviation accidents works, but also pilot training, aviation routines, safety principles, and in short, the entire universe of aviation is unveiled for you in this selection of books that the channel has prepared. All of them are on our wish list, and every time you purchase books and other items from the Arte da Guerra channel's wish list, you are helping to maintain our platform. You can access it either through the description at the bottom of the video or via the QR code that appears on your screen.
Como através do QR Code que aparece na sua tela.